Watch at 6.
Barbara Walters bring you the news.
Good evening. The mayors of the country's biggest cities wound up a two-day conference in Chicago today with a number of speeches and recommendations for the future. What it all amounts to is a simple appeal to the Carter administration and the new Congress, which says, we are all in trouble, we're running out of money, help us. We'll have a report. Harry?
We'll also report tonight on the Supreme Court's latest decision on voluntary abortion. It means, in effect, that the federal government should continue to pay the bills for poor women. Ron Miller has a close-up report on a startling increase in violent crimes and other felonies committed by women. And we'll have a report by naturalist Roger Karras on a group of people risking their lives to save this species of bird. Without those people and others like them, it could well become extinct. Barbara?
The mayors of the nation's 100 biggest cities agree today that they need quick help to save their cities, and that much of it must come from the federal government. Specifically, they want emergency action to provide jobs, and they want low-cost federal loans for the cities themselves and for businesses in those cities so that even more jobs can be created. Robert Miller has more on the mayors and what they agreed on as their meeting ended today in Chicago.
Big city mayors insist the Carter administration must enact legislation that'll help urban America. Many leaders said Carter received their support in the election. Now they expect his. There's a large shopping list of city problems that the mayors admit can't be solved overnight. Curbing unemployment is a top priority. Mayor Coleman Young says Detroit's official unemployment rate of 15% demonstrates the need for federal support. One proposal was passing a stronger anti-recession bill.
It would provide that when unemployment arrived on a national level at 5.5%, automatically the bill would begin to dispense money, depending on how much is in there, of course, and that for every increase of 1% in the unemployment rate, an additional $1 billion would be available for distribution.
Jimmy Carter did not attend the conference, but he did send an observer. Carter's representative, Howard Samuels, called the meeting a success, and he said the president-elect will soon get a report. Jimmy Carter often says his greatest challenge ahead is meeting the needs of financially troubled cities. But at this conference, a Carter spokesman insists the president-elect will not dump tons of money into those cities unless long-range economic planning is included. Robert Miller, ABC News, Chicago.
If there were a simple solution to all this, it makes sense to assume that all the problems would have been fixed by now. There isn't, and they haven't been. Economics editor Dan Quartz has more on where the cities get their money and how they spend it, and why right now there's a growing gap between what they're taking in and what they're paying out.
About 9/10 of the average city's budget goes to provide police and fire protection, to run the schools and maintain social services, to patch the streets and pick up the garbage. There's a limit to how much any mayor can cut any of those services, and many mayors already are facing public complaints over service cutbacks. At the same time, most cities rely mainly on property taxes for their own revenues. There's a limit to how much more any local government can raise those taxes, and property taxpayers in many cities are already close to revolt. When a city turns to other forms of taxes, like sales taxes or income taxes, those are the very tax receipts that go down in a recession, while the demand for many services goes up. In fact, the cost of running the cities is climbing about 15% a year, while local taxes are bringing in only about 5% more. So you see, Harry, there's literally no way most cities can live within their means unless we simply want to write them off as places for people to live.